I really didn't want to make this video. I really didn't want it to come to this, but it's really getting out of hand, and I couldn't think of another way to deal with this. I think if I make this public, I might actually get a response. Some of you might be familiar with Dan Olson from Folding Ideas, a video essayist best known for his videos addressing grifts and charlatanism, but in reality is a channel all about narrative. I'd go into this in greater detail, but this is not a video essay, it's a call-out post. Dan Olson, stop stalking me. It was funny at first, but it's getting really disturbing. Now, some of you may be wondering in what ways Mr. Ideas has been stalking me, or how I even know that he is doing so, and I'll tell you, it's all over his videos, which only goes to show that he has been stalking me for years. Let me explain. I have a certain relative that I live with. Let's just call her Aunt Jane, and she has ideas. Aunt Jane is always telling me to get jobs that are far, far beyond my skill set, and not only does so, but describes these complicated jobs as simply going la-di-la-di-la. She thinks animation is la-di-la-di-la. She thinks being a restaurant server with social anxiety is as simple as la-di-la-di-la. She thinks being a teacher's assistant is as simple as la-di-la-di-la. Way back in the day when I was trying to brainstorm my YouTube channel and was trying to find my own style, she began insisting vehemently that I make a cooking channel. She told me that it's easy. Point your camera at the kitchen counter and start cooking. I told her that I know absolutely nothing about cooking, but she insisted that I do it because I would become a successful billionaire and all I would have to do is play around with food while going. So I humored her. I brought my camera, which was just my Android smartphone, into our kitchen and looked around. The kitchen counter had a massive crack in it. There was dirt and grime everywhere that would require a deep cleaning. Stray pieces of paperwork and ugly kitchen gadgets that Aunt Jane bought took up a majority of the room. The lighting was suboptimal, and I had no way to mount my phone anywhere that could look down at what I was doing. Turns out, starting a cooking channel is not as simple as going la-di-la-di-la in front of a live audience, and before I even hit record I realized that Aunt Jane's ideas were insultingly naive, so I would really appreciate if you stopped telling me that difficult things are easy, because it seems to me you don't know a goddamn thing about the real world, Mom. I mean, Aunt Jane. Cut to May 15th, 2020, and Dan Olson posts cooking food on the internet for fun and money. And in this video, Dan Olson quickly lists all the reasons that starting a food channel is not simple.
So what is the state of food entertainment on YouTube? Like, let's say that you want to get in on all that. What should you know about the biz before you start? Well, first of all, don't. One of the things you learn really fast working with food is that, well, it's not that hard to make it look, at least good and appetizing. It's also really, really, really easy to make it look awful. And this is because your kitchen is probably a terrible place to make videos.
It's dark, it's cluttered, you've got dishes piled up because you've been shooting cooking videos for 3 days. The light is all on the wrong side of the room from the stove, which is where you're working, and the stove itself is lit by just a truly abominable 8-watt bulb that just makes everything look like just greasy and ugly. Every stray bit of grime is going to make you feel so gross the moment you're looking at it on video. Your fridge is almost certainly extremely loud. And is the internet going to judge you for the kettle that you just leave on the stove because it doesn't fit in any of your cabinets?
The answer is yes.
Huh, that's a coincidence. He tackled every single misconception Aunt Jane had. But surely that's just a coincidence, right? Well, that's what I thought until in the very same video he talks about pseudoscience and food scams and scam diets, and among those scams,
the properties contained in acai berries have also been said to help prevent certain health issues like arthritis, inflammation, obesity, neurological diseases, and allergies. Plus, they help to boost our energy and improve our sleep.
Here is goji berries.
When I was a child, my relative, what did I name her again? Aunt Jane. When I was a child, Aunt Jane made me drink glass after glass of acai berries at least once a day, telling me they would give me energy and protect me from cancer when all they did was make me feel ill and full of acid. In my teenage years, she would ruin perfectly good salads by forcing everyone to absolutely cover them in an obscene amount of those fucking chewy, monotonous goji berries that look damn near identical to the red seeds from Deadly Premonition. What the fuck, Dan? Why are you calling out my relatives for their stupidity, and how long have you been stalking me for? The acai berry thing was from, like, the early 2010s. Have you been spying on me for over a decade? There are countless examples of this. For instance, I had a habit of buying ready-made breakfast sausages, microwaving them, and then freezing them to thaw out later, because I didn't have sausages often, and when I did, I preferred something better than Jimmy Dean. So there I am, preparing my sausages, and Aunt Jane comes up and tells me that we should buy our own raw meat, grind it up in a meat machine, shape them into sausages, and bake them from scratch, and that it would take less time than microwaving sausages. Now, that's just ridiculous, right? Microwaving a sausage definitely takes less time than making sausages from scratch, Aunt Jane. But I shrugged and pointed out that cleaning the equipment and cleaning the sausage maker would take even more time, and she looked confused, as if I were the unreasonable one, and said, "No," in an accusing, confused voice. I don't know how someone can be so out of touch as to think preparing sausages from scratch and cleaning the equipment is somehow faster than microwaving a sausage for 1 minute. But she seemed dead set on believing this for some reason. Cut to October 29th, 2021, and Dan Olson posts his video, Jamie Oliver's War on Nuggets.
The biggest hole in all of it, of course, is the issue of time. With the stacked deck, the linear time is about comparable, but what's not comparable at all is the actual amount of work. I mean, it's so self-evident that I feel insane even pointing it out. Jamie's fried chicken bites are good, but you spend the entire time making fried chicken. Plus, it generates a huge amount of mess that you will then need to clean up.
What the fuck, Dan? And the list goes on and on. Me and my brother have to talk her out of falling for an obvious NFT scam. Dan already has a video on how she's the target audience for such scams. Contrepreneurs, the Mickelson twins? When Aunt Jane's husband lost his job, she talked him into joining several multi-level marketing schemes and wasted a year of all of our lives. In fact, recently, Dan Olson has released a trilogy of videos relevant to another family of mine, whom we'll just call Uncle John. Dan Olson is stalking me. There's no other explanation. He watches me as I drive to work. He's bugged every room in my home. He knows what's in my fridge. No, Dan Olson is in my fridge. Dan Olson is in my refrigerator as we speak, taking careful account of every item. He's in the walls. He's hiding under my bed right now as I record this, listening, currently, plotting, scheming, and planning to write another expose about the relatives I have the misfortune of being related to. I don't know what you want from me, Mr. Folding. I don't know if you're trying to embarrass me or if you're trying to ruin me, but the joke is on you, because your videos don't make me feel ashamed. They make me feel seen. Your videos make the issues I have with my family feel more normal, and it puts into words exactly what's bothering me about them. So no matter what nefarious purpose you had behind your candid documentary about my American boomer relatives, they were so informative and so well worded and so insightful that they've legitimately helped me better understand the world around me and my circumstances. So, take that, Dolson Foldias. I will not be intimidated, and I demand you stop spying on me and my ever-so-flawed family immediately. And to you, my loyal audience, I thank you for your support in these trying times, and to you, all I have to say is... Happy April 1st.